A young girl with eyes full of aspirations boldly approached Elon Musk's table and, without hesitation, posed a daring question. "Can you give me a chance?" These words, seemingly insignificant amidst grand conversations about AI and the universe, set off a chain of events no one could have anticipated. What captured Elon's attention about her? And what extraordinary journey awaited her? Stay tuned, this story will keep you captivated. Don't forget to subscribe to ensure you don't miss more inspiring tales from us. Samantha, a 20-year-old young woman, carefully balanced a tray of coffee as she weaved through the tables at Sunny's diner during her late-night shift. At her age, Samantha dreamed of becoming a scientist, someone who could answer humanity's most profound questions. Her passion for philosophy and science burned brighter than anyone could imagine, but life had dealt her a different hand. After losing both her parents, Samantha worked tirelessly to support her two younger siblings while saving every penny for her dream of going to college. Her simple uniform was faded, her hands calloused from grueling work, yet her mind remained alight with countless ideas. Peeking from her pocket was an old copy of A Brief History of Time. Samantha often used brief moments between shifts to jot down ideas about the nature of reality, driven by an unyielding desire to understand existence itself. As the night dragged on, Samantha glanced at the clock. It was past 11 p.m., and the diner had quieted, offering her a rare moment of calm. Her thoughts drifted to her sleeping siblings at home and the dream of one day standing in a lab rather than here. The sound of the doorbell snapping shut pulled her back to reality. Turning around, she saw Elon Musk walk in with a small group. They chose a table in her section. Samantha froze for a moment, instantly recognizing him. "Elon Musk," a coworker whispered. Samantha didn't reply, her heart pounding as she watched him sit down. Elon began speaking animatedly to his group, his voice resonating like a professor delivering a lecture. "XAI is the key to unlocking the foundations of reality," he said. "Project Horizon isn't just about AI. It's about redefining what we know about existence." Samantha clutched her notebook tightly. She couldn't help but listen as Elon spoke of simulation theory, the nature of consciousness, and the boundaries of human perception, questions she had pondered for years. She had no idea this encounter would challenge her courage and alter her future forever. Taking a deep breath, Samantha walked toward Elon's table, balancing the coffee tray in one hand while gripping her notebook with the other. Her mind raced, trying to compose a polite introduction while suppressing her excitement. As she approached, Elon was mid-sentence, his tone captivating. "Consciousness," he said, "might be an emergent phenomenon arising from the complex computations of neural networks. What we're doing with XAI and Project Horizon is attempting to simulate those layers, proving that complexity leads to awareness." Samantha gently set a cup of coffee in front of Elon. "Excuse me, sir," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I couldn't help but overhear. But what if consciousness isn't emergent? What if it's fundamental, the foundation of reality itself?" The table fell silent. Elon looked up, his piercing eyes locking onto hers with curiosity. For a moment, Samantha regretted speaking up, but Elon leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "Go on," he said, his expression intrigued. Samantha took a deep breath, feeling a surge of confidence. "If you look at quantum physics," she began, "there are experiments that suggest observation influences reality. What if consciousness doesn't emerge from the physical world, but rather the physical world emerges from consciousness? It would mean that XAI isn't just mapping reality. It might be the key to understanding its origins." One of Elon's colleagues chuckled, but Elon raised his hand, signaling them to stop. "That's an interesting perspective," he said. "Are you suggesting panpsychism, or something entirely different?" Samantha nodded. "Yes, but not exactly. It's more like consciousness being the fundamental state of existence, much like spacetime is the foundation of the universe. Consciousness is the fabric, and everything else is painted upon it." Over the next few minutes, Samantha elaborated on her ideas, referencing books she had read, studies she had explored, and her own personal reflections. She spoke of theories like integrated information theory and quantum entanglement, connecting them to how XAI might fit into this picture. Elon's expression shifted from curious to genuinely impressed. "You've given this a lot of thought," he said, his voice laden with admiration. "Do you have a background in science?" Samantha hesitated before admitting, "No formal background, just books, research, and my own thoughts. I dream of studying one day, but for now, life has other priorities." Elon leaned back in his chair, considering her words. "You're intelligent and determined," he said. "I don't have any positions open right now, but I'd like to stay in touch. Give me your number, and if an opportunity arises, I'll reach out." Samantha's heart leapt, but she kept her composure. "Of course. Thank you, Mr. Musk." She quickly jotted her phone number on a scrap of paper from her notebook and handed it to him. As Elon and his group left the diner, Samantha watched them go, her heart still racing from the surreal encounter. She clutched her notebook tightly, the very place Elon had scribbled her number, as a symbol of this incredible moment. For the first time in a long while, Samantha felt hope, as though her dreams weren't so far away after all. But that glimmer of hope was extinguished almost immediately when Mr. Bradley, the diner's manager, stormed out of the kitchen. The heavy-set man with a perpetual scowl marched toward Samantha. The sound of his footsteps pounded against the floor, accompanied by his booming voice. "Samantha!" he roared, loud enough for everyone to turn and stare. "What the hell was that?" "I was just doing my job. I served them coffee. Don't you dare make excuses with me." Bradley's voice cut her off, sharp as a knife. "You're always trying to act too smart, aren't you? Always burying your nose in those damn books during breaks. Like you're better than this place, better than the people working here." His voice lowered, but the venom in his tone became even more palpable. "Let me tell you something, kid. You'll never be more than a waitress, especially not someone like you." Samantha felt her breath catch in her chest. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Bradley turned to the other employees, who stood frozen in stunned silence. "This is a lesson for all of you," he said, his voice filled with cruel sarcasm. "No one here is irreplaceable. Anyone who thinks they're too good for this job will end up like her." He turned back to Samantha, his tone ice-cold and final. "You're fired. Pack your things and get out of my diner. Now." Samantha's legs felt weak as his words cut deep, like a blade slicing through her spirit. "Please, Mr. Bradley," she stammered, her voice trembling. "I need this job. I have my siblings to take care of." "I don't care," he snapped, his voice devoid of sympathy. "Get out of my diner. You're done here." Samantha stood motionless, her body trembling as Bradley turned and stormed back into the kitchen. Her co-workers avoided her gaze, pretending not to see. The hushed murmurs of the patrons only amplified her humiliation. With shaky breaths, Samantha went to the back room and silently gathered her belongings. She walked out of the diner without looking back. The cold night air stung her face as tears streamed down her cheeks. Anguish, injustice, and fear for the future consumed her. But in her pocket, the notebook containing Elon Musk's handwritten note felt like a tiny spark in the overwhelming darkness. Samantha gripped it tightly, her heart clinging to that faint glimmer of hope. Climbing the creaky stairs to her small apartment, head bowed low, she opened the door to the familiar scent of warm soup and the sound of her siblings' laughter. "Samantha, look!" Jamal, her younger brother, ran over, holding up a piece of paper covered in colorful, messy drawings. "I drew a rocket, just like the ones you always talk about." Samantha knelt down, gently running her fingers over the drawing of a rocket soaring through a starry sky. She smiled softly, her voice warm. "It's amazing, Jamal. You're such a great artist." Leah, her little sister, skipped over, pointing at the wall covered in crayon drawings and cut-out clippings. "We added more stars today. You said the universe has billions of stars, so we're trying to catch up." Samantha looked at the wall, filled with stars, planets, and handwritten notes about scientific theories she had shared with them. Her throat tightened with emotion. They didn't know what had happened at the diner, and she didn't have the heart to tell them. She pulled them into a tight hug, drawing strength from their innocence and unwavering trust. After tucking them into bed, Samantha sat alone at the small table in the corner of the room, her gaze fixed on the dream board pinned to the wall, where a picture of Elon Musk and a large quote read, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars." The words seemed to glow in her mind, pulling her away from despair. She recalled the look in Elon's eyes, curious and respectful, as she shared her ideas. Samantha pulled the notebook from her pocket, her fingers tracing the page where she had written her number for him. "He saw something in me," she whispered. "I can't let it end like this." Taking a deep breath, Samantha opened the well-worn notebook filled with her theories and notes. She began sketching new plans and refining ideas, determined to continue pursuing her dream. The drawings on the wall seemed to shine brighter under the dim light. Samantha looked at them with renewed resolve. "This isn't over," she said softly, her voice steady. "Not for me and not for them." She glanced at her sleeping siblings before turning back to the dream board. No matter how long it would take, she was determined to prove she was capable of reaching for the stars. Elon leaned back in his chair, his gaze sharpening, as though the gears in his mind were turning. "She challenged my ideas, caught my attention, and then lost her job because of it," he said, shaking his head. His voice was firm, resolute. "Unacceptable." Jessica, his assistant, stood nearby, sensing the shift in Elon's demeanor. "I want to know everything," he continued decisively. "Contact anyone who was there, employees, customers. I need a full account of what happened, and find out where she is now." Jessica nodded. "I'll get on it immediately." As she walked away, Elon turned to stare out the window, his thoughts swirling. It wasn't just anger at the injustice. He was captivated by the resilience Samantha had displayed. There was something about her spark of brilliance forged through hardship that reminded him of himself in his early years. Opening his laptop, Elon began to take notes. If Samantha was as remarkable as she seemed, she deserved a real chance. But more than that, he wanted to ensure that people like her wouldn't be crushed by the pettiness of others. When Jessica returned with witness accounts and confirmation of the diner manager's behavior, Elon was ready with a plan. "Contact the diner's owner," he instructed. "But first, I think it's time I meet Samantha myself." Closing his laptop, his eyes glimmered with determination. "People like her don't come around often. I won't let this opportunity slip away." Morning light filtered through the thin curtains, casting a warm golden glow over the modest apartment walls. Samantha's walls were adorned with hand-drawn illustrations of the universe, portraits of renowned scientists, and profound philosophical quotes. Sitting at the small dining table, she sipped her coffee, trying to gather her thoughts. Her gaze lingered on the dream board, but the weight of yesterday's events still pressed heavily on her. A sudden knock at the door broke her reverie. Samantha frowned. She wasn't expecting anyone. Setting her cup down, she slowly walked to the door. When she opened it, her heart nearly stopped. Standing there, dressed in his signature understated blazer and wearing a warm yet slightly mischievous smile, was Elon Musk. "Good morning, Samantha," he said, his tone calm yet commanding. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Mr. Musk?" she stammered, her voice catching. "What are you doing here?" Elon chuckled softly, his voice carrying a reassuring undertone. "May I come in?" Yes, of course," Samantha replied, still dazed, stepping aside to let him in. The apartment was small, but Elon's attention was immediately drawn to the walls. He paused in front of a detailed drawing of a black hole, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly. "Did you draw these?" he asked, gesturing toward the artwork. Samantha nodded, both flustered and proud. "Yes, it's just a hobby of mine in my free time." The walls were filled with intricate illustrations, quantum physics equations interspersed with artistic depictions of string theory. Another corner showcased hand-drawn portraits of great thinkers, Einstein, Hawking, and even Elon Musk himself with small notes scrawled beneath each image. But one wall stood out. It wasn't about science or philosophy but humanity. It featured drawings of two children with bright, wide eyes and radiant smiles, surrounded by phrases like, "Love guides discovery," and "Resilience is our greatest strength." Elon moved closer, his gaze thoughtful. "These are your siblings?" he asked, pointing to the drawings. Samantha's voice softened, her emotions evident. "Yes, Ethan and Olivia. They're why I do everything I do. I want them to see that no matter where you start, you can still reach the stars." Elon stared at the wall for a few moments, silent. When he turned back to Samantha, his expression held an unusual sincerity. "You've combined science and compassion in an extraordinary way. This wall doesn't just show intelligence, it shows heart. You see the world not just as it is, but as it could be." Samantha lowered her head, her cheeks flushing. "I just believe that understanding reality isn't just about equations or theories. It's about how we connect with each other. Science is the tool, but compassion is the purpose." Elon regarded her with a slight smile before speaking, his voice deep and filled with admiration. "You're the kind of person the world needs, Samantha. Someone who not only solves problems, but inspires others to believe in solutions." This story reminds us that sometimes a single opportunity can change a life forever. Have you ever boldly pursued your dreams or offered someone a chance they truly deserved? Share your story in the comments. Your experiences could inspire and motivate others. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like and share it with friends and loved ones to spread the message of perseverance, empathy, and the power of opportunity. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss more inspiring stories. May you always stay strong, hopeful, and confident in pursuing your dreams. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to receive the latest updates. The stories are collected from various sources and do not represent any individual or organization. They are shared with the intention of spreading human values in life and have been rewritten with the support of AI. If there are any mistakes, kindly overlook them with understanding. Wishing you all the best in life.